Hi, welcome to the asset management overview, which was part of the Depreciation Suite. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at two sides of the asset management. One is the app side and the other is the back end and the admin section of that. So just very quickly for your reference, the app side works on both an Android and iOS device, and then the back end is all web-based. So as long as you've got a browser, you can connect there. But the assets is part of it in the MaintainPad, but if you want to use just the assets by yourself, that's again not a problem. The way it works is we basically keep like an asset register, an asset list in the system. So we generate our asset ID, which is against our own. You can put your own owner ID in. So if you have your own reference, you can keep that. Images, you can keep as many images against that asset as you like. And we generate again our own barcode. But again, if you want to link your own, that's not a problem. And then we capture some information around that, such as the title, if it's a fixed or rotational asset. So we have two types of assets and asset types, I should say, in the system. One is obviously fixed, so that's your bigger items like your boilers and your generators and that type of stuff. Rotationals are assets that will most likely be coming in and out all of the time, screwdrivers, that type of stuff. You can then categorize them if you wish. And again, you can, if your end customer has an asset number for that, again, you can capture that. You can link that into a property. So if you're using a property module in the system, you've got the choice to link that there, as well as the location within that property. Hopefully the staff member who's added that. And then some other information such as make, model, registration number, serial number, so on and so forth. And then the bigger item used in the asset info is the warranty. So you can capture the warranty start date, the warranty's end date, the servicing, and then the insurance due date. That information feeds into a dashboard, which I'll go into a bit later in the video. Moving over, so we then have our work requests and work orders. So as any work requests or repairs are reported against that asset, you can see a list of those here. And then any work orders, so I'll show that mainly from the app side, but as your staff members go out and complete work orders or jobs, you can link an asset there, and that basically keeps a record or a log of the repairs done, who it's been assigned to, and obviously the information around that. And then we also capture the asset value. The asset value basically calculates depreciation. The way that works is you would put in, for example, the date you purchased this, the price you purchased that at, the depreciation percentage, and then the period. So if depending on the types of assets, you might want to calculate the depreciation over every month. You might want to calculate it over the year. Again, that option is there. And if you want to export the data to a CSV, you can do so. But then coming over to the dashboard, so what will happen is, as I was mentioning there with some of the due dates, what you can do is you can actually see that information here. So if there are any warranties, for example, ending in the next 30 days, you can see that. You can also see what insurance is due in the next 30 days. And then you've got a bit of some data below alongside that. So for example, work orders, you can see a breakdown of those jobs, and you can also see if there's any assets and anything like that. Also, as part of MaintainPad, what you can do is you can carry out your asset checks. So on the left hand side, there's an option in checking our templates where you can create your own template, for example, against the boilers or the generators. And then what will happen is when the asset or the work order is being complete, basically those checks are carried out there and then. But again, I'm not going too much massively into that. Coming over to the app side, so basically everything you see from the back end from an assets point of view is also captured on the app. If I click into an asset, you can see the information, you can capture the warranty info, and you can capture the repair history. You'll also see on the app side there's an option here in the top right hand corner to print out a QR code or a barcode. So using one of either our Epson LW600P printers, there is an option here to print your barcode. You can use your own printer, again there's no issue in doing that, but from an integration point of view, we have that printer integrated, so you can print the labels, and it's a thermal printer and they can stick directly onto the assets. So I'm just going to go back, and again, if you wanted to add that asset directly from here, that is also possible, as well as capturing a picture. And coming over to the work orders, just very quickly, so like I was saying previously in the video, the work orders, the asset is linked against the work order. So for example, if I'm doing an inspection of the pump, you'll see further down I have a related asset. So this check here is actually against the generator, and then once this job is complete, that appears against the asset as its repair history. As I was saying earlier on, you have that option here in the top right hand corner to view the checklist. Basically what that'll do is any checks you set against that asset or against that job basically will appear here and can be carried out as part of its maintenance. One more thing to mention there within the assets is the reports. So on the left hand side of the system, there's also an option here to run reports. We have 2 or 3 different types of reports. We have our template reports, which is a standard which most people use, which I'll show you here. So for example, if I want to run a report for assets, I run it based on, for example, the service due, and I look at that the service is due in the next, I don't know, next 30 days, for example, and then I can export that data to Excel. Same idea if I want to pull a report based on a specific category. Again, I can run that report there as well, so based on appliances. The standard reports I'll ignore for now, but the activity reports is the one that goes into basically database level. There's a lot more control and customization around this, so if you want to see something very specific, this would allow you to do that. So if you do want that, let us know and we can help you to build those reports. Yeah, and that's all. If you have any more questions, let us know. Thanks.